Alright guys, so I'm going to be going over the... Alright, I'm going to try to do this in one go here. Kormrok encounter a bit here, going over the basic abilities and then going through the actual fight that we did today in PTR. Just give you guys an overview of the encounter. Majority of the stuff I'm going to go over is melee / DPS oriented. There's not too many abilities in the fight, but like I said, I'm not going to really be going over tank mechanics all too much specifically. So the boss is pretty... he's in the Pools of Manoroth room. There's 3 large pools in this room, and he can jump to that pool, and it will empower him with either shadow, explosive, or foul energy. I believe he jumps to the closest pool, and he cannot do the same pool twice in a row, but you can make him avoid one pool if you'd like. So bring him to one pool, then another, and back to that first one is a possibility. The only ability that does not get empowered that he does is Pound. That ability is going on throughout the encounter and is just basically an AoE ability that pulses off yourself, and you want to be away from people when that ability goes off because you will hit others with that ability. So there's one part of the fight specifically that you want to group up for. You want to disperse before this Pound does go off, so it's a little bit of a DPS check. But I'll go ahead and explain some of these abilities to you. So the basic ability that the boss has is Shadow Waves, which is the shadow pool, if you will, emits some waves that you have to avoid. Not too much there. You'll see the effect in the video I'm about to show you. It's kind of a unique visual on that. Then you have Explosive Runes. Basically, you run over these runes, maybe a little cooldown, and they explode before. You don't want them to explode on their own because they do additional damage to everyone. Sorry, damage to everyone instead of the person that actually hits it. So you want to have just people run over them. Then you have Grasping Hands, which is much like the Kormrok encounter, except you just get grabbed anywhere you are. You don't have to actually stand in a location to get grabbed. So this is the one that we were grouping up for and AoEing the hands down and quickly dispersing afterwards, because right after Grasping Hands, I think every time was a Pound. So that's what the DPS check I was talking about earlier. There's some there's some tank mechanics to how the boss affects the tank. One's a knockback. I think that would be the tank swap. That gives you Fell Touch. And Explosive Burst I'm not really familiar with. But the one that we do encounter as a DPS is Foul Crush. It basically grabs the tank, much like the Grasping Hands mechanic. And you want to get the DPS want to focus this down and get the tank out as quickly as possible. And that's pretty much it to the encounter. You have the enrage that happens. It doesn't say here, but we found that the rage happens at 30%, and he gains 30% haste. And all the energy he gains while enraged is permanent, which not exactly what that means, but anyway. The mechanics of the empowered effects. When he's in shadow energy, which is he'll jump to that pool, he'll make his shadow waves instead of just having the shadow pool have waves. Every pool will do waves, and they'll converge, and it's really pretty and deadly, and you'll see that in the video. So you just have every pool throwing waves out instead of one. The explosive energy is the runes empowerment, and instead of having a couple of runes around the room that you want to trigger and they go away, you trigger them and then they are pushed. If you're behind them, they get pushed forward, so you want to push them to the middle of the room. If you push all the runes into the middle of the room, they'll create one big rune. You pop that one and they go away. Otherwise they will keep respawning and you'll have to keep triggering them or have a big explosion go off and hit the entire raid. So you probably assign, I think, 4 DPS or healers, or range DPS or healers, or maybe even 1 tank to pop these runes and push them towards the middle. Strafing, we found that didn't work too well, so you want to make sure you're squared up into the rune and push it towards the middle. And the Empowered Grasping Hands is the last effect if he's in the foul pool buff, anyway, where these Grasping Hands will actually move towards the pool as you're grabbed. So you're going to be grabbed and then pulled into the pool, and that pool does immense amounts of damage. You do not want to be pulled into the pool. So those are the effects of the encounter, and we're going to take a look at the video. If I can pop it up. No? Great. The boss has, he's a very simple mechanic boss. He goes through his rotation pretty quickly. I'm not sure when you should lust this encounter. If it should be in the beginning, like we did here, you have a little downtime, or you should do it at the end when he has the enrage effect. Going right into it, we started in the green, or rather foul pool, which gives him the dragging hands. You can see that right here. We're all grouping up. I'm going to be pausing the video periodically. We're all grouping up here. The boss should really be within melee range, but we're all grouping up here, and we're all going to get grabbed. And we're going to AoE these hands down very quickly before we get pulled into the pool. This doesn't take an enormous amount of AoE, but this is heroic. So, and immediately after that, there's going to be a pound. So if we didn't break that up quick enough, we would have all down to this pound. That hand right there was on a tank. It did kill him. But you want to have the DPS get on that immediately. Having melee go on that is a little difficult during the pound because you don't want the tank or the other melee to die. So for during pounds, you really wouldn't want your ranged DPS to really focus that down and burst it. So that was the empowered rune effect that you just saw. And this is the non-empowered shadow wave that I spoke about. Pretty cool aesthetics on these waves. They're not just one big wave like Bracken Sports. Many little and medium and big waves that happen. You see we killed that pretty quickly before the pound. And you want to spread out for this pound because you do deal damage to your friendly mates near you. Doing another empowered grasping hands, dragging hands that they're called when they're empowered. I said in my stream earlier, I'm not sure if I'm going to play combat or melee for this fight. Depends on if I need the extra AoE for the group. So you just jump to the other pool. So you're going to see the empowered explosive runes, the one I talked about. You have to push them towards the middle. So they start off pretty small. See, there's I think 4. I don't think there's set locations, but you can see 3. There's probably one right over there. And the person has to push them towards the middle. So you see the hunter here, he pops their personal cooldown and pushes it towards the middle instead of going to the side of it or in front of it. And it goes to the next spot, and you keep pushing it until it gets to the middle. And you want to get all of them to the middle and then pop the big one. And that's the entire effect of that mechanic. If done right, it's pretty easy, pretty quick. If done wrong, it'll wipe the raid. Much like any of the other mechanics. I don't know how many times it happens, if it happens like twice or once, but it wasn't really my job on this encounter to deal with that, so limited information, sorry. I think we're wiping because of it. Or not. No, we almost wiped because of it. We did not handle that perfectly, that's for sure. Again, there's another shadow wave. All right, now it's jumping to the fell pool yet again. Dragging hands yet again. Can already see I'm targeting this crushing hand. I want to get out of it as quick as I can for the tank. Then the pound happens and I have to get away because I don't want to hurt the other melee or the tank. Really simple mechanics in this fight, you just have to do them correctly, as any fight, and it's not too much to absorb here. kind of get the gist of it. Another shadow wave. Let's see if I can show you guys the encounter with the empowered waves. And again, he's going to go into his enrage at 30%. So we wipe here due to, well, I think we messed up a rune. I'm pretty sure that's what happened there. I'm going to show you guys a really quick view at the empowered wave ability before I end this video. And that looks a little something like this. We did have it happen during this attempt. I believe it's going on right now. Did I speak too soon? Did I speak too soon? Okay, there it was. So we brought it for this ability. There's 3 pools, so it's gonna be the best place to go would be to where the pools don't spawn from, because they're not angled to go there. So we tried to avoid as many pools as we could by bringing the boss to the far, I guess, southeast corner. And most of the pools don't interact with you over here. It's a bit cheesy, but as you can see, we had a lot less pools than if we were in the middle. We were in the middle of the room. We had to dodge a lot more pools. I don't even see any green ones. There they go. There's some green ones. So you can see how that could be a bit of an annoying thing. We ended up thinking we would not even encounter the green pools, or sorry, the empowered pools effect, just due to the fact that it was such a, it's not that it would be deadly, but rather it would lower the damage quite a bit, make the fight take longer. So we thought that was a good enough reason to to avoid them. If we do the runes correctly, if we do the grasping hands, the dragging hands correctly, it shouldn't be a problem at all. So, all right, that's it for the video, guys. I hope that taught you something. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.